All right, let's keep it there in the NBA. After Tuesday night's preseason victory of the Portland Trail Blazers, Steve Kerr explained that Draymond Green has been fined for punching Jordan Poole there. As you can see the video at practice. There was no suspension. Green, who has been away from the team since the incident, is expected to rejoin practice today and could play in the team's preseason finale on Friday against the Denver Nuggets before we start the regular season. Here's more on Kerr in this situation.
We feel like we have a great feel for our team. You know, we've got a lot of continuity on this team. So Bob and I know our players extremely well. We feel like this is the best way, after assessing everything, for us to move forward. It's never easy. No matter what decision you make in a situation like this, it's not going to be perfect. This is the biggest crisis that we've ever had since I've been coach here. It's really serious stuff. We're not perfect. You know, our team isn't perfect. Bob and I have definitely made our share of mistakes over the years, but we're going to lean on the experience that we have together, you know, over the last 9 years, and trust that this is the best decision for our team.
Nobody to help break this all down better than our guys here. Of course, our front office expert, Jim Bowden, our coach, Avery Johnson, and Mr. Everything expert, Ryan Harris. And Jim, I'll start with you. A lot to unravel here from the incident between Poole and Green, the fine, and now Green coming back here. Kind of break down what you're seeing here, your thoughts on this whole thing.
Yeah, look, I can tell you in the real world, right, we look at it and it's assault and battery. In the sports world, you look at it as it happens. It's part of the culture. Usually it's not public. And I can tell you in the 16 years I was a general manager with both the Cincinnati Reds and Washington Nationals, we had several incidences that were similar to this. Maybe our players didn't have as good a right hook as Draymond Green does, but these things do happen. I can tell you from my experience when it happened, how I handled it. If it was public, 2-game suspension and a fine. Kevin Mitchell, one of my outfielders, did it in July, and that was the penalty. It was public. Most of them are not public. When it does happen, these incidences, what we do immediately, or what we did, was bring the players involved into the manager's office. And the manager and I would talk to the players and, first of all, try to resolve whatever issues they have, try to make sure there were apologies that were given to the people that needed to give apologies. And then we would have a team meeting for whatever player was wrong in the case to apologize to the team. And as a team, try to get past it. We tried to keep it within the 4 walls of the clubhouse. We didn't want these things to be public because we didn't want the example for the young kids that are big baseball fans or sports fans. We didn't want them to know that this behavior happens or is acceptable. I was always consistent, though. 2-game suspension without pay, which a lot of money, obviously, for these players. And the players seemed to accept that. I felt it was important to treat everyone fair and equitably when it came to that thing. You got to move on as an organization, which means, you know, the people part of it are extremely important, as is consistency. You hate to see it in the real world and you hate to see it in the sports world. But unfortunately, in sports, it does happen, and it is part of sports.
I've seen this situation a million times. First of all, the video coordinator or whomever leaked this video should be fired. There's so many things that happen in practices over the years. I've seen this type of situation, and I've seen worse, but the public didn't have an opportunity to see it. Secondly, when you're looking at a young guy like Jordan Poole, Draymond Green could have basically shattered this guy's jaw. You remember, what was it, December 5th, 1977, when Kermit Washington sucker punched Rudy Tomjanovich? This could have ended up being worse. And I was teammates with Steve Kerr, okay? Steve Kerr and I, we've been in those tough practices together. We've seen a lot of different fights. This is going to take some time to heal. Draymond Green's got a lot of reflecting to do. Obviously, they're bringing him back in the fold of the team. This is not going to be a quick fix. I would probably venture to say that this is definitely going to be Draymond Green's last year with the Warriors. This is going to take a long road to heal, but there are several things on my mind when it comes to this situation.
For me, it's invaluable experience for the Warriors. I mean, Jordan Poole learned an important lesson in professional sports, one that both the guests previously have mentioned. You don't put your hands on another man without being ready to fight in sports. I know that's not the way it is at your office or wherever you work, but that's why you're not in the professional leagues. Fights happen all the time. And the biggest issue with the Warriors is that they don't have a guy like Draymond Green to bring the physicality and to teach players what it takes to win. If you put two hands on me at practice, please believe we are going to fight. I'm with everyone else that the video getting out, that's wrong. And that's really what's creating a lot of this commotion, because there have been 20 to 50 fights already in the NBA. Kevin Garnett, I grew up watching him. You're telling me if you put two hands on Kevin Garnett, you're going to expect to walk away healthy? Not a chance. Bill Laimbeer still tells his teammates not to call him, even though they won the world championship together at the Pistons. This is a part of what it takes to be in an elite sports league. It's a shame that everybody saw it. It's not a great example, but most people won't make it to that court. And to me, I understand violence is wrong, absolutely. And in professional sports, when you put two hands on somebody, there are consequences. And that's what it takes to win a championship, as the Warriors know from their fourth championship they won just 4 months ago. I will say I think it's interesting that Steve Kerr said Draymond Green will be back with us to play on Friday night, and I expect him to play in the opener. He didn't say our opener, so there could be more coming down the line here. But make no mistake, this is the natural consequence of playing in professional sports. When you put your hands on somebody, you better be ready to fight.
Jim, I want to piggyback off what Ryan just said there, because we don't know the future of Draymond Green. Realistically, he's 34 years old. He might have to opt in. I believe that's $27 million on the book. But you forget Jordan Poole as well. He has that rookie extension deadline on the 18th. So could it come down, if you're in that front office, do you go to young Jordan Poole or 34-year-old Draymond Green that just caused problems? Your thoughts on that maybe?
Well, no, you're working it out is what you're doing, and you're making sure that, I mean, Draymond Green came and apologized to Jordan Poole. He apologized to the team. I mean, they worked through it together. Again, this is being blown out of proportion because of the public, because of transparency, because of social networking. They've handled the situation, and they're going to go out and play Friday night, and they're going to defend their title, and the Golden State Warriors are going to be the favorites to repeat, because that's how talented they are, and they're more talented with Draymond Green on the team than off the team. I wouldn't trade the player. I would just try to resolve it. Jordan Poole is the future. There's no doubt about it. I won't be surprised if this is the last year that Draymond Green is with Golden State, and I won't be surprised if he's celebrating at the White House after this year is over. I don't think this is a situation, based on what I'm hearing, that you have to choose between the two. If you did, you would choose Jordan Poole because he's an important part of your future, where Draymond Green is on the back end of the career. But the truth is you want them both, because that's a formula that helps you win. The hard part is the optics. The optics don't look good. I mean, if I was Steve Kerr and the GM there, I would have suspended him for a couple of games along with an undisclosed fine, and just to send a message, not just to the team, but send the message to the NBA, send the message to fans that we're not going to tolerate that kind of behavior. That's how I would have handled it. But again, this is not a situation, in my opinion, that's going to affect the Golden State Warriors in a game. I don't think this is something that's going to linger. Again, people don't completely understand unless you're in professional sports and watching this. This happens all the time. It's just usually not public.
Off of that, of course, Avery and Ryan, I'm curious here, because if we're inside of those locker rooms, we do know that Jordan Poole has a separate set of friends, and then Draymond Green has his as well. Everybody has a bestie in that locker room. This isn't 1992. Both of you, of course, echoing that this happens. First time we've seen it publicly here. But if you're Steve Kerr or maybe a Steph Curry or a Klay Thompson, how are you kind of mending fences so it doesn't impact the outcome this season?
Well, if you're another team not named the Golden State Warriors, I agree with Jim. This is a team that has strong leadership. All right. Steve Kerr is going to be our next Olympic coach. He's been tutored by Greg Popovich, who's been one of my mentors in the sport. Obviously, he said this is the greatest hurdle and adversity that they have to maneuver through. But because of his leadership, because you have Klay Thompson, because you have Andre Iguodala, Steph Curry, they'll be able to get through it. Now, what happens after the season, that's another story. Again, what's going to happen though when Draymond Green has an issue with Jordan Poole because he didn't rotate on defense? How's that going to impact him in terms of, getting back on defense or taking leadership instructions from Draymond Green? Does Klay Thompson and Steph Curry communicate with him more moving forward? They'll be able to maneuver through it. Steve Kerr is an unbelievable communicator. I won the first championship with him in 1999 with the Spurs. I know his DNA. If they didn't have this type of culture with the Warriors, then moving forward, you may have some question marks, but they'll play ball. And in my mind, they're still the favorites to repeat as NBA champions.
Well, and Avery brings up a great point, which is not only do you have to bring the team together, but Jordan Poole still needs to learn how to play in the NBA from Draymond Green. So that's a conversation that Kerr and Poole have to have. And listen, I understand that Jordan Poole is one of the young talents in the NBA. He doesn't have 4 rings like Draymond Green does. So yes, Brandon, they got different friends, and it's because Draymond's friends are trying to fit a 5th on their hand, right? So not only do you have to come together, a little kumbaya, maybe a nice little campfire or something, seriously, but then you also have to say, hey, Jordan, look, we understand you're upset. Now you know what happens when you touch somebody else on this team. Be ready for that, and be ready for the coaching that's going to come, because we're going to expect you to play a large role in helping us win a championship. But the biggest issue is this fight probably cost Draymond Green north of $100 million. I mean, he's only 32, and I say that because the NBA apparently could play till 45, like your Tom Brady, but he was looking to get a contract extension. I doubt that's going to happen in many places, let alone the Golden State Warriors. But for now, Avery is right. You have to make sure that Jordan Poole is mentally ready to continue to be a part of this team, which includes taking coaching and criticism from Draymond Green.
One word here, guys. Just want to break this down before I let you all go here. Does this impact, yes or no, their championship run this season? Jim, I'll start with you. Yes or no?
Absolutely not. They'll move past this so quick your head will spin.
Avery?
No.
Right.
Yes, because now the toughness is higher. People are on edge, ready to bow up and fight each other. You need that to win championships. Jim and Avery will tell you that as well.
All right, we'll see how it pans out. Of course, maybe a chance to repeat here. As Ryan said, that 5th one in the ring, we'll see how that pans out. Appreciate, as always, all you guys, of course, tackling one subject in the association. Want to take a look at the odds when it comes to the Warriors. Where do they fall? Of course, Vegas not concerned at all. Now tied with the Celtics at 575. Of course, those two meeting in the finals last year. We all know the Dubs came out victorious. Don't forget about the Bucks at 7-1 there with the Clippers and Nets. Their situation there in Brooklyn. Then the Suns at 13-1 when it comes to winning that Larry O.B.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.